everybody. I hope you're doing well. Today, here's Melly Moore from the ADHD Melly Show, and today we're doing a Q&A. I have a little bit of a question on my little book here. It's not going to be a long session, but it's okay. It's going to be so fun, and if you have other questions, please comment down below, and I'll make sure that I could respond to those questions at the same time. So, all the time, if you want to know which is going to be the next guest from next week and the other week, you go to the ADHDMellyShow.com. You will be able to see all the guests that are coming in this month of August. Also, on that website, you're going to be able to see how you can help me just thrive and make the Melly Show a good show, Just help me like that way. So like I said, today I have a lot of questions, at least some questions. I don't have a lot, but I have some questions that are quite interesting. So I want to review them and tell you and respond them, actually. So yeah, today I'm going to be alone, but it's okay. It's actually what it is, a Q&A. I'm alone normally. And if you like those videos, I probably will do another one at the end of August. So tell me if that's something that you like for me to respond Q&A and stuff like that. This is my microphone if you're asking. So, question number one. At least I have two questions from Kelsey Frick. First question: do you think the rise of remote work been a blessing for those with ADHD or mental health? This is a great question. I will have to say that it really depends. Because when you work remotely, yes, you work on your computer, you don't have all the distraction that you can have in the office, but at the same time, an ADHD person, I'm talking for myself, need a lot of motivation to be able to do a task. And when you're at home, you can do a lot of things except of working, right? I can watch TV, I can read a book, I can do anything else than working. And so the productivity can be a little bit less, but at the same time more. So I think it's equivalent, but at the same time, if you just work remotely and you don't have any feedback of your employer or your boss or stuff like that, it's not good neither. You really need to still have those feedbacks that are really important and still stay in communication with those people at the same time, because when you work alone, you don't have that social life that comes with working, Of course, when you are at the office, you can get distracted by those people, but at the same time, when you're at lunch or at your break, you can talk to those people, or when you come in the morning, you still have a social life, which is really important for people with ADHD. And because that will help you just communicate, because when you have ADHD, sometimes you have a lot of difficulty to communicate. It's not the same that autism, okay? But it's a little bit similar because when we were kids, we were used to not have a lot of friends and stuff like that. So we were a lot of the time in our corner, when we were small, because sometimes children didn't understand or condition, and it's very hard to make friends when you are ADHD, when you are hyperactive, when you take a lot of place, because at the contrarily than autism, you take a lot of place when you have ADHD. You're all around, and sometimes people don't like that. And even when I am an adult, sometimes it's very hard to stay in my place and not take everything to take all the world, So yeah, this is very important to have social life, because it's helping us canalize our present, okay, help us communicate and stuff like that. So it's very important. So yes, for the work, it's better to be remote, because you're in front of a computer and you should be out of distraction. But like I said, if your work is always the same and you don't have any feedback, you can lose motivation, and you maybe rather taking a longer break, which is not good, because you still need to do that work that your boss asking you for. And when you have mental health, I'm going to continue. And when you have mental health, And you can get a mental health by being alone. Some people never had any problem with depression, and they got depression because they were always working alone. Some people need that to be loved. They need to see other people than in their house. Sometimes people lives alone, and it's hard. So yeah, it can cause mental health to work remotely too, when it's only remotely and you're not allowed to go. I'm talking about a pandemic situation where you cannot go out with your friends at night, but in a normal situation when you can go to work once a week and get feedback and work in a teamwork, this can be a really good thing. For me, it's a good thing. I like to work remotely, but at the same time, I like to visit the clients too and to talk to them in person, take a coffee, etc. It's very good for, like I said, to canalize your overing energy. So another question from Kelsey Frick: what advice would you give to others who are trying to start their own business? This is another great question. I will say that a lot of business owners have ADHD because when you have ADHD, you're really creative to get away from being ADHD. You need to find some tips. You need to get around some certain situation of neurotypical people. You need to find new ways to adapt to yourself, because there's not a lot of support for adults. There's a lot for kids. You can get a tutor and stuff like that when you're at school, but when you're an adult, you're left almost alone. Yes, you can have medication, but I already told about medication a little bit, what I think about it. And I'm going to do a next podcast will be about medication and why I'm not taking any medication and why, and I'm going to explain you a little bit more if it's a good thing for you or not, because it really depends of the person. And I'm going to give you some more tips about what I do to overcome my ADHD without medication. But if you think the best thing for you is medication, it's okay. I'm not against it. It's only for me, it's not the right plan. But I'm going to explain you why I like why medication are good and why they are bad, and why I don't take them. I did take them when I was younger. I'm going to explain you all this. I did a lot of research before I decided to take it off. When I was 14 years old, I was allowed to say I don't want medication anymore, and I stopped taking medication, and I still had my high school diploma. So it didn't do a lot for my studying. It was pretty much the same. The ADHD medication for me helped when I was a kid with my hyperactivity, because it was not a mentally hyperactivity. It was a physical hyperactivity. I could jump, and I was always moving the class. I was distracting the other student. It was not a good thing. For this, it really helped, I think. But at the same time, now there's so much way that you can canalize that energy. They have desk bicycle now that you can use in class. So this is a little bit a small. How can I say that? Can I say that? It's a little bit what I'm gonna talk about in that next podcast. And again, if you want to watch the podcast, you go to the ADHDMellyShow.com. You will be able to click on the link subscribe, and you will see everywhere where you can listen to the podcast. I'm in Google Podcasts, I'm in Amazon Podcasts, and I am on a lot of platforms. So if you want to listen to that, you can. I do a new episode every Monday, so if you want to do that, you can. The time change, because sometimes I record a podcast the same day, so it really depends of my time. So for what advice I give to others where they're trying to start their own business, I'm going to go to that question, because yes, that's the problem where when I'm alone on my TV show, I'm going way back and go forward, and sometimes it's very hard to find the subject. I'm sorry about that. So the advice I'm going to give you is, as you are creative, you probably have the good ideas to start your business, so that's great. But you need to, as ADHD, you need to be a little bit careful of what you want, because for me, when I want something, I need to have it now. Okay, I don't really think about the consequences sometimes of my action. It's impulsive. Okay, it can be impulsive anything in the life. I'm trying my best not to be too impulsive and think twice of an action. And you need to do the same thing when you start a business, because you're going to spend a lot of money to make that business work. Like, I'm giving you an example. The ADHD Melly show, I had to buy a microphone because I wanted my sound to be good. I brought a camera, I brought some stuff, and I pay a lot of program like this. Restream, it cost me like $50 a month. It's expensive, and if I don't buy it, I cannot put my brand on it, and I want to put my brand. I want to be professional, so I'm paying a lot, and I don't get any money back. I get big zero right now. Okay, so that's why if you want to be a sponsor, that's a good thing. But as I said, if you want to start a business, you have to make sure you're going to commit on that business. So don't start on a little thing in your mind and try to think about it for a month or two. If this idea still stays in your mind, and if it progresses, and you see that idea is a good thing, and you did the research to see if it's profitable. The ADHD Melly show, I know I'm not going to make $1 million with that. I don't think so. But it's okay. Oh my God. So I don't know if you can still hear me. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, the camera will get out. I don't know why. I'm going to try to replug it, but stays online if you can still hear me. I don't know why the webcam decided to get out. I'm going to try to put it down again. Because I have kittens, okay? And those kittens always move around. And I think they just touched something on my computer, and now my webcam does not want to work. And I don't know why. So give me a second. This webcam is quite old, so if it doesn't, so I don't know why it stopped. Oh, okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about this little glitch. My kitten just passed around the computer and it touched the wire. I'm sorry. I need to do something about those little kittens. So like I was saying, if you have this idea for a while, you can, it's because this idea is good and you can be so make your research to make sure this is a business that you can make money of it. Mainly if you have a job, don't quit your job if you have one. This is very important. Do not quit it. You can if you want, take less hours if you want to take more time on your business, but don't quit it. You won't make any money for the first or second month. You may make no money. You may buy more stuff than making anything. Okay, that's normal. It can take months to make sure you can get a living of it. If sometimes it takes years before you can give yourself a salary. So depend which kind of business. If you are a freelancer, you have more chance that it's going to work faster. You're going to get contract faster. But if you want to make a restaurant or boutique or stuff like that, or making products, it's going to take you time to get money and being able to pay you. So do not quit your job. If you want to be part-time, perfect. Just make sure you can pay your rent each month, okay? This is very important. If I could have done that, I would, okay? It's very important. So this is what I'm going to give you as advice, okay? Make sure your idea is good, that you make your research and make sure it's something that your community will need. You need to have something that somebody needs, okay? And you're capable and you're willing to take the time to make it involved and make it work, and you're ready to pay a lot of money, okay, to make it work. Because like I said, I make zero money. I'm not expecting to make any real money. Maybe I'm getting get sponsored for the ADHD Melly show. This is my side job. My big job, I'm making website, okay? This is my real job. This is the job I pay my rent with, okay? But it's the same thing with a new business. Don't quit your job. I'm not going to quit stopping making website or I'm going to be homeless, okay? So do not do that. So I'm going to so let's go for the third question from Rob Roy Chalmer. Just make sure I'm not going to mispronounce that. What is the most important things you look for a guest on your show? This is a good one too. So what I'm searching on my show is to promote awareness on mental health and ADHD, but also I don't want to make it like sad stories, okay? I don't want to make it like, oh, poor little person, they have ADHD, they're so poor. No, I want to show people that are thriving while having mental health issue or did have mental health issue. I want to show people that are thriving, living with it, okay? I want to have inspiring stories, and or even if they don't have any mental health issue or no ADHD or no nothing like that, I want to invite people that can help people that have ADHD or mental health. I want to have thriving story. I want to have people that are capable of living with their disease, if I can call it a disease. This is I'm searching sometime my word. I'm going to call it a disease, okay? Even if it's not really a disease, okay? Okay, they can live with it. They are successful in life despite everything they lived before, even all the struggle they live in their life. Even they add the wake up calls and they are able to just thrive and being able to be the person they really are. They are speaking some inspiring stories. Those are people that I'm searching for my show, because like I said, the ADHD Melly show is not a show to show pity, okay? I want to make it informative. I want to show real people, thriving people that overcome their difficulties and being successful, or at least they are happy with their life anyway. And if they have mental health issues that are cured, they can be there, because it takes time to, if it's depression, and there are some mental health issues that are not curable. There's a lot of mental health. I don't have a word in my mind now. I don't have any disease in my mind now. But ADHD is not a disease necessarily, because it's something that you were born with, this disease. But I mean, it's not something that you get, like depression. You're not born with depression, okay? But you're born with ADHD. You're born with autism. You're born with some issues, because you were born with that, and you need to find some tips, because there's nothing you can do. There is no cure. Even if you take thousands of medicine, it's not going to cure your ADHD. You're still going to have symptoms anyway. There's nothing you can do, and there's nothing you can do to fix it permanently. It's not possible. For ADHD, I feel as I've gained age, I've gained maturity, it's less prominent, because I have some tips now, so it makes my life so easier. I plan a lot. If I don't plan, I'm dead, and etc. I'm just making sure that to have some tips. And when you have a kid, you don't have tips necessarily, and your parent does not necessarily know what is ADHD. And when computer and internet was not as prominent when I was a child. So, yes, it did exist. Don't worry, I'm not that old. But I mean, when I was a kid, there were no computer in my house. And I think I had my first computer when I was like 11, Before that, it was only at the library or some place like that where you could have get internet. But instead of that, it was not something. You need to find books, and books now, it's so many good books, and you can get it's very It's very easy to find them on internet, actually. And you can find some free resource on internet too. And that's very cool, and that helps a lot of parents all around the world to understand their kids. And that's going to be the other question that I got today. But before I'm going to go to that question, I want to share you some books that I've read or I'm going to read. The new books that I just brought today, that I got so many good reviews of that books, is Neurodiversity at Work, and it's from some people that are on LinkedIn, that are on my connection actually, which I'm so happy. And it's by Amanda Kirby and Theo Smith. They are British, if I'm not mistaken. And you can get that book on Kobo anywhere on Amazon and on their website. But if you're Canadian or American, you won't be able to buy it now because it's not released for North America. But if you use Kobo for ebook, you will be able to buy it right now and read it right now. And you will probably think that it's expensive, but it's almost 1,000 page. Okay, so guys, it's really worth it, and I can't wait to read it. And I'm probably going to give you a review of that soon. And I brought it with my own money, so I'm not sponsored or anything to say that. I just want to help fellow people on LinkedIn that are really working on ADHD, mental health, and neurodiversity. I just want to help them promote their stuff because it's very important, as I'm advertising my own self ADHD and awareness of that. So for me, it's very important. And if you are a woman, because that book, you can read it if you're a man, but I mean, it's more talking for women's perspective, because women is harder to diagnose with ADHD because they did more studies on boys. It's the same thing for autism and Tourette, etc. It's more boys that have those neurodiversity. Normally, it's more boys. At least they think it was more boys, which is not necessarily the case. But the symptoms are different for boys and girls. Girls, we are learned to stay on our place, to be quiet. So we are more going to go masking and pretend we don't have any symptom and we're normal, which is not the case. For me, it was easy because I'm not able really to mask. So for me, it was easy to diagnose. But a lot of girls, it's hard because they are hiding their difficulty inside them, and they are not going to talk about it. So it's really hard for them to just being diagnosed. So that book name, sorry, I'm looking down to at the title, is Divergent Mind by Jenera Nierenberg. So you can get it on Audible. I buy a lot of books on Audible because for me it's easier with audiobook to just walk and listen. It takes less time in my days, and it's easier for me to get into it, because when I read, I'm not capable to do something else than reading. Okay, but when I'm listening something on Audible, I have the impression it's easier for me to process the information. Maybe I don't think it's only me, but when you read with the ADHD, sometimes hard to focus on what I read, and sometimes it's very hard to process it at the same time. So I have to do two things at the same time again, so it's very hard. So when I walk to go somewhere and I would listen to my audiobook, it's easier for me to be able to do two things at the same time and process it, because somebody else is telling me the story. Even for a novel or something like that, it's easier for me. So those are the two books. I'm going to, of course, writing down below on LinkedIn. So if you want to look at those books, like I said, I didn't get any cent for that. I just think that it's very important to being able to inform myself before I'm talking about it, because for me it's very important. So for the last question from Rachel Gardner. Weingartner. Sorry, I muttered a little bit your name. I'm very sorry. How can a parent advocate for their child who learn differently due to their ADHD? Okay, story time. Like I said, a lot of time, my parent didn't really understand what ADHD was. So I was always constantly punished, and I was always there. They always say, why are you not like your brother? Why are you not like your sister? They understand easily. They are more calm than you. Why can you not be like them? So they always like make myself feel bad because I couldn't be like them and they were younger than I. So what I will suggest is to not compare your child that has ADHD with another child or another person, because your child is learning differently. So you cannot compare it to somebody that are not that don't have any difficulty and they are normal. Okay, do not, because they cannot be like that. If they will try so hard to please you, they are going to work so hard, and they will realize they cannot be like that person, and they're going to get depressed, they're going to get anxiety because they cannot attend to they cannot make you proud because they are never going to be like their sister or their brother. Even if they are older or younger, don't compare them. Let them go at their rhythm. It's okay if they are not capable, if they have to do their hair another time because they did not process the information the first time. It's okay. Don't be mad at them because they didn't do exactly what they were expected. It's okay. You need to let them learn at their right, and also let them, and always be proud of the little progress they make, even if it's stupid for you, or if another kid would have been able to do it so fast. It's okay. So let them take their time to do it properly, even if it takes more time. And another thing, stop the homework when they're crying, screaming, and they are not capable of doing it anymore. Don't force them to do their homework or their studying. When you see that the child is overwhelmed, if you see that child does not want to do it anymore because their brain is popping off, they cannot concentrate anymore, they just feel overwhelmed, it doesn't do anything. Sorry, she will break my computer again. So don't do that, because it's not a good idea to force your child to do studying. They need to think studying is a game that is there to teach them, and not be forced like a punishment. If you make your Because if you're mad on your child because they don't want to do their homework, or their homework is not finished, and you make that a punishment to be able to do their homework, even if they're overwhelmed, they are tired of their day, it's not going to work. It's going to be hard on you as a parent, because you will see your child screaming and not being able to do anything because they are so overwhelmed. So you are going to be mad at them. You're going to scream at them in return, or punish them and say, you're going in your room, you're not going out for a week, or something like that. Don't do that. You should at least say, it's okay. We're going to do it instead tomorrow morning. We're going to do breakfast, and we're going to continue your homework. We're going to do it the best as you can. I'm going to give you a note on your teacher saying that you did your best, but you're too tired, and we did that work now. And yes, your teacher normally should understand. Of course, there's some teacher that were like, why the kid didn't do the homework? You're a bad parent or something like that. But you're not a bad parent. You did your best. And your child just cannot do it anymore. And normal school are really strict sometimes, but I really think that you should talk to the to the teacher, and talk to the director or the principal, and explain the situation to them, saying that you're going to do the homework with the kids. You're going to make sure they're doing their best at it, and if they can't, and if they cannot do it, it's fine, okay? And not forcing them. Sorry. And yeah, this is what I really truly believe is you can advocate on your child by understanding their need and do not force them to do something they're not capable of doing because of their disabilities. And I'm talking about the homework, but trust me, it was the worst in my life, the homework, because my parents were screaming at me because I wasn't able to do it. I was crying my tears up and I was so tired. So I'm not saying to stop adding more homework. Just take the time that a normal person will do the homework and just do what they can do and let go the other things that they can't. And if you want to do a little bit more because you want them to succeed at their school anyway, and I do understand because you're a parent, you want them to finish high school, you can say, okay, we're going to stop the homework now because I see that you're tired. Go play, go read, go play a game or anything. And no, don't stop your kid playing video games because that helps a lot with dopamine and it helps a lot to study after that. Okay, trust me, it's better. I feel way better when my parent allows me to play video game after the homework than if they didn't. It was liberating for me because I was able to produce dopamine and it was making me happier, okay? And you want your kids to be happier. So I'm not saying to let them 2 hours, 3 hours and at midnight playing video games, but you say, you did your homework? The best you can, you take the 30 minutes like your brother and your sister. It's 30-minute homework. Normally you should finish, but you couldn't. It's okay. I'm going to have a plan for you. I'm going to allow you your 30 minutes on the Switch now. It's okay. Go play your Mario Kart if you want. And tomorrow morning, just after breakfast, we're going to take another 10 minutes to finish this up. We're going to do our best. And if we don't finish, it's okay. But you need to at least take the time to do your homework. And you see that timer there. You take your 30 minutes. You do your best. And after, you're going to get your reward. That's going to be your video game. And after, if you don't finish, we're going to try to take another 10 minutes in the morning. And after that, if they don't finish, like again, you just write on their agenda. They couldn't do it now. They couldn't finish, but we did our best. And voila, the teacher, what do you want them to do? They can, you do your best, right? So that's what I suggest. So that was it for the question for today. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was enlightening to you. Like I said, sorry if I got way foreign word from some questions and stuff like that. And sorry for the camera. That's what it is to have 2 kittens, right? So I'm really thankful if you watch this video. If you watch it in replay, please tell me. And please, if you have other questions for me, please write them down, and I'll be so happy to just being able to respond them when on my another Q&A, because I wish to do a Q&A each month. I think it's going to be fun, right? Just to respond all of your questions there and just chat with you guys. So I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I see you for my podcast next Monday and another live this next Friday too. So I hope you have an amazing day, and please like, comment, and make this video round around the world. So have a nice day and tune up for next week. Bye.